Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mad Hatter Radio, reporting live from the Event Horizon. This go around, I want to talk about some news. I'm a little bit late to this, but I did want to talk about this. You ever had one of those situations where it's you might be at a job or something or whatever you do, but you don't really want to do it, but you know you have to do it? This is kind of like one of those moments right now. But if you guys haven't heard, Stormy Daniels, the former and I guess current porn star, she just released a book called Full Disclosure. And as many of you guys know, there's an alleged affair between Trump and Stormy Daniels. A lot of beef going back and forth. Apparently, he gave her some hush money before the election. This book discusses that. But I don't want to talk too much about that. I want to talk about what was trending on Twitter and around the internet for a while. So I woke up Tuesday morning. It's Thursday right now, but I woke up, 2 days ago, essentially. And I was like, oh man, what's trending right now? I always check out what's trending just to make sure, I'm on top of some things. Everything that's trending is not important, but there's some important things there sometimes. And I'm like, all right, what is this? I'm like Mario Kart, Toad. I'm thinking to myself, well, they just did release a new Nintendo video game, the Nintendo Switch. So I'm like, oh man, maybe they got a new Mario Kart game. Let me check this out. That was a poor choice, right? I click on this. I click on Toad, right? Toad's a character in Mario Kart that we all love. Turns out they talking about Toad because Stormy Daniels describes President Trump's penis as a toad, right? I'm like, really? Did I need to hear that in the morning, man? Anyway, have you guys also kind of noticed that, not that I'm very active, but I have noticed that on some porn sites, Stormy Daniels is popping up all of a sudden with advertisements. Funny how that works out. Anyway, so in this book, she basically goes into detail about a bunch of different things and their alleged affair and how she grew up in her life. So my thing is, the main goal, I think, of this book, and one of the main takeaways, at least that the media talked about, the mainstream media talked about for the most part, was, how nasty Trump is. The whole thing is she always talks about how gross he is. I can't believe I slept with him and da-da-da-da-da. End of the day, you still did sleep with him. So if he is nasty, what does that say about you for sleeping with someone who you think is nasty? Does that make you better? No, because you slept with him. And allegedly, if you did, you cheated on your husband. So how are you any better in this situation? But anyway, she talks about how nasty Trump is for most of this piece, or at least the reviews that I've been reading from the mainstream media. Again, if he's so nasty, you chose to sleep with him because of his lifestyle and his money. So that says more about you almost than it does about him. So anyway, she also goes on to talk about, try to degrade Trump a little bit more. And this is not to say that I'm a Trump fan or I support Trump, but at the same time, I don't like watching cheap shots and cheap digs, in my opinion, especially from the media, where I think the media should be held to a much higher standard than porn stars. I don't really trust, digs from porn stars for the most part. Not saying that all porn stars are bad, but a goofy chick like this, nah, I don't. I don't trust everything she says. That's just me. Especially when there's money involved and you look at all the circumstances that are happening, I don't trust it. She also goes on to degrade Trump by saying that Trump was going to cheat for her on The Apprentice. My thing is, dude, who cares? I'm sure you would have taken it in the right circumstances. And anyway, we all know it's staged anyway. It's reality TV, quote unquote reality TV. It's all produced. It's all staged. We all know it's fake. So I'm not worried about that, right? So she does, which is an interesting point, she does detail why she came out with this book, or part of the reason why I think that she came out with this book, about in 2016 when he was running, when he was campaigning for president and he was getting closer to becoming president. This is when allegedly the hush money was thrown at her. So she's saying that she came out with this book so that she could control the narrative and she couldn't be blackmailed, which, if true, I definitely do understand. But at the same time, she wants to get paid, which I can't hate on her all the way for, right? We all want to get paid, but let's just be real about what it is. She wants to get paid. She also details some tough upbringing, how she was sexually abused at the age of 9 by a middle-aged man, which is awful if true. But, honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Somebody who, in my opinion, I don't think Trump is in the right mindset. I don't hate the guy, but I don't think he's in the right mindset to be president. And I think that, like-minded people and real recognize real. I think the same vibes are attracted to each other. And I think that Stormy Daniels was attracted to Trump because there was something that they hold similar. So if she wants to sit here and diss this guy, you have to also diss yourself to a certain extent, But it's kind of sad, man, because she seems like someone who's just vying for attention and somebody who's honestly who's grown up through a rough upbringing. And it's unfortunate that this is what it takes for her to be successful, but it does make sense to me. So to wrap this up really quick, some notable things that I thought that kind of stood out a little bit in these articles was that she was saying that there was no signs of immaturity then compared to now, which is interesting to me because if that's true, what is it about the presidency that's making this guy act the way that he's acting, right? Like, because I know a lot of good people, I think, who go into the presidency and I think they go in with good intentions. Same with politics. I think a lot of people go into politics, a lot of people go into Hollywood, in the media with good intentions, but the system changes you into something. So this really gets me thinking about what the system does to us and the influence it has over our lives, especially, honestly, I don't think Trump wanted to be president to begin with. And that's the next point I'm going to make, is that she always talks about, yes, like he didn't want to be president. But then she started to get worried in 2016 when it started getting closer and closer. And I think, so to wrap this up, to kind of tie this point in, he didn't want to be president because apparently in this book that she wrote, she says that she was in like a penthouse or whatever, like a nice sky view with Trump at the time. And she said that Trump picked up the phone when they were together, kind of just hanging out. And guess who was on the other line? Hillary Clinton. And she says that Hillary Clinton mentioned something about our plan, but Trump wasn't really paying attention. But she did say this. Let me pull up the exact quote really quick. She says, "Then to make it crazier, Hillary Clinton called. He had a whole conversation about the race, repeatedly mentioning our plan." So I'm pretty surprised that no one has been talking about this, our plan. This is actually what a lot of people on the left have been saying, people who are further left, and just people who pay attention to politics, period, is that, the whole thing was that there was a conspiracy that the Hillary Clinton campaign took against the Bernie Sanders campaign. There's a reason why he couldn't perform or have his debates during, hours where most people would watch. Like, they would always put the debates at the end of the day, when everybody's asleep or on the weekend or during major events. So there was a conspiracy, especially with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the former DNC head. She was also known for going out in support of Hillary Clinton during the election, which you're not supposed to do. So this makes me think, and one theory that a lot of Democrats and a lot of people had was that Hillary Clinton wanted to run against Trump because she thought it would be easier. And that goes back to why I think that Stormy Daniels really didn't think that he was going to become president. I think a lot of people didn't at first, but then you saw the momentum change, especially because Hillary Clinton, a lot of people don't like her. She had a poor strategy, and she screwed over a lot of people in her own party. So what does she expect? So that's a really interesting part about that book. I think that a lot of people aren't talking about. That I would actually like to look more into that, but I want to leave this video there. This is running kind of long. Thank you guys for sticking in. If you did stick in, I really do appreciate that. If you like this type of content, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Again, thank you guys for checking me out. I really do appreciate it. And as always, stay woke.